But the resilience, Lacoste, of MP, and in particular, you know,
10 seconds
Envy on his
remaining.
Terrorblade, it was crazy how long MP made
5
DC
seconds
work for that
remaining.
one.
Yeah, Team NP looks like one of the teams that don't want to call a
Dire
GG
team pick.
ever. We saw yesterday when they had Zeus, Enigma, and Void lineup. They were just defending for the next, like 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, they
10
I
seconds
mean, I don't
remaining.
know if I can really blame them either because for how many games that I've
5
casted or
seconds
witnessed that
remaining.
Envy or Team MP are just defending even though there really is no chance at all
Reserve
for
time.
them. I can also find a couple of games where Envy and MP or whoever were able to pull off a remarkable, dude. This is going to be some terrible
DC's
casting moving
turn to
forward.
pick.
This is going to be some of the worst casting you'll ever hear. I'll try my best to keep my words straight, but it was remarkable. That's what I was trying to say. Now I totally
So,
forgot my point anyway, so take it away, Lacoste.
yeah.
10
This time,
seconds
MP just banning out Meepo in the first
5
phase, and
seconds remaining.
what the DC banned in the second phase, Ench and Sanking, they just first pick it right now.
Reserve time.
They don't want it to be banned because they had great success in the first game. Great success.
Very good. And this goes to show that this series in itself is certainly developed in its own meta. The value already they have in that Enchantress Sand King pickup. I wouldn't be surprised if DC start pulling favor in some heroes we haven't seen in a while that are typically very good against the Enchantress or Sand King, let's say. But for now, DC pick up that Treant Protector once again for Dubu, who was doing a lot of work as the scout, if you will, for them in the previous game on a lot of those setups. And then
Dubu the Boy Scout.
Dubu Boy Scout. I miss Dubu Earth Spirit. It's not going to be a thing, I imagine, for a while, but Dubu always a very awesome support to watch. Now, typically, they do follow this up right away with like a Bulba pick, but I don't know if they're going to be doing that for this go around.
Maybe it's time for some Ursa. Oh.
That's an early
Dire
puck pick,
team ban.
which is always fishy, you know? Now you're just kind of like, is that going to be an off-lane puck or is that going to be a mid-lane puck? They could do both, I'm sure. I've seen Abed play it. And Forev, maybe he could pick it up. But otherwise,
10 seconds
why?
remaining.
Maybe, you know what? Before I even try to theory craft myself, you
5
tell me.
seconds
Why do you
remaining.
think they would pick the puck this early?
They have a good team fight with Puck and Train
Reserve
Protector,
time.
so they can pick pretty much whatever they want after that. Also good for controlling Sanking and Enchantress, just burst her down with some magical damage later on with Dagon and his talents, or her. Is Puck a male or a female?
I think female.
Looks like a
I think
female.
it's an
Has female
It's
eyes.
a fairy, so unless you happen to know the anatomy of a fairy, I myself do not. I couldn't really tell you, but I'm sure if you
Again,
guys.
you didn't watch much of National Geographic when you were young.
Oh, I must have missed the episode about fairy dragons. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, lore nerds, go ahead, tweet at me about how technically the puck is a female or whatever it actually is. I don't know for sure. That's beside the point. Stop
DC's
distracting
turn to
me,
ban.
all right? You made great reasoning for why Digital Chaos would pick up the puck this early, but I can't help but say it's still, you know, it feels it's intriguing. It's a nice
10
evasive hero
seconds
too to have in the
remaining.
mid lane, so any sort of hostile approach of the early game, like an
5
Enchantress,
seconds
Puck is
remaining.
going to be able to avoid that. But for all the same reasons, hefty team fight and such,
Reserve time.
it's a good grab. Just very different than what we've been seeing in a lot of drafts already is all. Second phase of bans, now it's becoming a very important phase. Got to be careful what you ban and what you might forget to ban. Crystal Maiden's going to go, TA on the other side.
Dire team ban.
And now you're starting to think about some of those other comfort options here.
Yeah, they banned out TA because in the first game, TA had such a great time against that Puck on mid.
10
I mean,
seconds
TA
remaining.
is a hero that does well against those high
5
nuke
seconds remaining.
heroes like Puck, Lina.
Mm-hmm.
Reserve time.
How does Death Prophet match up against Puck in the mid lane, you think? Are we going to be possibly seeing MP try to wiggle their Death Prophet into this draft if it gets ignored? Last time DC banned it out as a 5th pick, and then before that I think it was also a 5th pick, but I'm curious.
Well, maybe not good at the mid because you can't use Spirit Siphon because of the phase shift. You can also juke Crypt Swarm. So if they pick it, it would probably be a safe lane.
Dire
Yeah,
team
we've seen that happen, and then they get something like a Fata Queen of Pain, let's say, for the mid lane. But
Maybe you know what they pick when there is a Puck? They tend to pick a DK because it's a good lockdown for Puck once he gets a Blink
10
Dagger up
seconds
and does well in a laning stage as well.
yeah, you're right. I
5
remember that.
seconds
They had that
remaining.
in their matchup against SG Esports. That was a Death Prophet DK kind of a game. Oh, there was no Shadow
DC's
Shaman
turn to
in that
pick.
game, but he says, let's go with push. So Enchantress, Shadow Shaman, certainly Death Prophet's got to come now. And, you know, DK also fits that bill nicely.
Man,
I mean,
if I was Envy right now, I would just
10
pick a
seconds
DK and a
remaining.
DP.
yeah, those both sound like a good 4-5
5
pickup right now
seconds
for
remaining.
MP. But we'll see. Lycan also. Let's not forget Lycan. Lycan is also
Yeah.
one of those sleepy,
Reserve
scary cores that could just pop up in a draft and benefit a heavy push kind of a lineup. So DC might just need to consider ways to spam out waves and kind of hold the line. Take a chapter out of MP's book, apparently.
Yeah, that's true about Lycan. They can also go for Lycan, which is kind of more secure late game than DP safe lane.
And MV has played it already. A lot of thought here for DC, though. For DC side, Ursa's still out there. You always kind of throw out the name Ursa when you're got a matchup like
10
Enchantress and
seconds
such, but
remaining.
they're going to go back for the
Dire
Bulba
team
Rubik
pick.
once again. And, you know, Bulba's Rubik was good. We got to see Dubu play Rubik game 1 and Bulba play Rubik in game 2. And I think they both had great showings. Dubu had some awesome steals
10 seconds
in the
remaining.
first game, and then Bulba never found himself in a
5
precarious
seconds
position and
remaining.
didn't seem to die at all through the early and mid game. So
Yeah, his
Reserve
first
time.
death was at around 30 minutes, so his positioning was just insane.
I think the Rubik is always just a nice grab. Casual benefit of the null field 2 is always nice for the team, but yeah.
Yeah, but Rubik is a kind of a hero that is super counter to a Sanking because of null field, magical damage, and when you steal Burrow Strike, you don't have that cast animation, so it's casted instantly. Also against
seconds
Shadow
remaining.
Shaman, it's let's say easy to steal a Serpent
DC's
Ward
turn to pick.
because he usually places it, and then he can't really cast a spell after that. So.
Okay then. So Venomancer and Lycan. Okay, well, let's
Dire team
digest this
back.
disgusting mess before us here. So Serpent Ward Master, Shadow Shaman, and the Serpent himself, Venomancer, here for MP to just even go more in on this disgusting kind of hybrid push style. Fata mid lane Venomancer.
10 seconds
I don't know if I'd
remaining.
call it a classic, but it is a familiar thing.
5
Uh,
seconds remaining.
Maybe feeling confident about it here and now in its matchup possibly against the Puck, and when it's able to come online, matches with the timing nicely here for MP, but this
DC's
takes out
turn to
a
ban.
total late game option for them. So you're pretty much going all in on whatever you're going to get for Envy here, which they may have been banking on something like the Lycan if it was still out there, but now whatever they get Envy, I'm curious if it's going to be going
10
all in
seconds
sooner than
remaining.
later, or if they're going to get him something as a late game insurance policy.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, with the Venomancer they have that snake strat with Shadow Shaman ulti and Venomancer snakes.
DC's turn to
Especially
pick.
when Veno gets like level 25 with that extra HP and damage on those snakes.
So annoying. DC now.
10
Between Rubik and
seconds
Tree,
remaining.
unfortunately, you don't have like a really good like pipe candidate. I mean,
5
null field.
seconds remaining.
I mean, he's like, great, cool. You got Venomancer. Well, I already have null field, which is a nice little buff. But you might still need to consider getting something
Reserve
like
time.
Pipe, Sand King, Venomancer, and Shadow Shaman. Yeah, you want pipes and stuff. And look at this. They're going to round things
Dire
out with a
team
Darkseer
pick.
here for Forev. He's going to be that mech, possibly pipe utility one to be able to bump everyone up with that second burst of life to just, be able to shrug off that disgusting Venomancer ulti, for example.
Yeah, well,
10
that's
seconds remaining.
that's a good hero pickup because against Venomancer you need that
5
mech
seconds
and
remaining.
pipe, even Guardian Greaves, so you can just not die from that
Reserve
disgusting
time.
ulti.
Can't forget Ion Shell Wolves as well for Lycan. So nice little bits of synergy there. Well, look at this. To round things out, NP go in for the Alchemist pickup. I mean, everybody on this team would love to have an Agnum Scepter, don't get me wrong. But what do you think about the Alchemist final grab? It's a greedy one at that. Is it able to challenge DC's lineup here? DC have a very high tempo kind of a lineup too.
Yeah, they do, but also MP has a good like base defense with acid spray and some Venomancer wards. So it should be an interesting game. They decided to go for more like late game oriented carry hero in Alchemist.
10
Like
seconds
I mean,
remaining.
not more. It's like super late game, especially with
5
Yep.
those
seconds
Aghanim
remaining.
Scepter upgrades you mentioned.
Alk always has that kind of chance to make games go long, so Lacoste, I hope you're okay with casting until the sun comes up, because it's probably going to happen, buddy, and what a way go out, Grand final
It's gonna
day.
come. It's gonna come out in next hour. It's already looks like it's a day outside.
All right. You got a coffee ready to go?
I don't drink coffee. I got some monsters ready.
Oh, snap. Okay. Shout out to our sponsors. Monster, of course, here at the Summit 7. Let's go ahead and get
Sell
into
out.
it, folks. It's time. Grand final action still before us. It's been a long one already, but this is just game number 3 of NP versus DC. Who is going to win the Girthier Tower Award? Well,
None.
none of them. Nah, just kidding. It's always NP. They're the team that have the big money in those compendiums, and they get to earn their right for this very scary-looking, dark Lord of the Rings-like tower. Quite frightening.
Prepare for battle.
How big's your tower?
Which one?
Anyways, let's get underway here. NP are going to lead things out with a smoked, and they're going to go exploring early. Get that nice ward to the high ground. This is the basic pub kind of ward, but it's new meta against pros. You're never going to suspect that ward because it's just too easy of a spot. Whatever the case may be, its purpose to be able to catch some early laning transitions possibly. Maybe give that little bit of extra intel to MP, so if it's necessary to adjust the lanes, they can do so.
So it's gonna be Fata on a safe lane because it's a puck on mid, and you can't really gale him. So you can't kill a puck. So they're gonna put Alchemist on mid lane instead.
30
Again, they're
seconds
swapping
to
lanes, and we're playing mid once again, and Fata on the safe lane.
Flexibility. Do you like that in a team? I mean, that is something you did not used to see. I mean, Lacoste, you're coming from a history where teams often had just 6 players and one just sat out if they didn't fit the other position. There weren't, I would imagine, back then there wasn't a lot of people just playing multiple roles in multiple lanes.
Yeah, or if someone was thirsty, that was always a good idea to have a 6-man team.
Yeah.
And
the battle begins.
well, we did also some like role switching. Back
You
in the
did do
days.
some. You did a little bit of role
Yeah.
switching. Okay, so it's not. Is it more popular now? Is that what it is? Is it more often you find teams who have that kind of?
The players over years became more versatile and played so many roles that they can right now play anything. So
I guess that is pretty much the obvious point. A lot of times at these tournaments, you tend to see a lot of familiar faces. These kids have been playing this game since its dirty little grassroots and have seen the game evolve over time and have played any and all positions and have kind of built up that bit of flexibility here. Looking to go for some early first blood action. We got Kagami, a.k.a. Bulba, looking to move in for the early telekinesis. Can't seem to get a grab of Pi. He has a little tree tunnel to walk out from, and we'll avoid that one. And it's going to be a bit of an aggro start for DC, it would appear.
and again, MSS bottom lane 1 versus 1. Okay, they're backing him up with.
No, yeah, they don't want that to happen again. MSS seems to always do very well in those 1v1s. And so quickly they bring the supports down here, and MSS is going to have more of a typical off-lane kind of a setup that he was expecting here. Aui's going to be also working with the camp nearby, so he can't even really fall back on that, but it looks like Aui might consider helping him out instead.
What an interesting build on a bed, because Aui picked up Wildling and used Tornado. He just went in on a creep and used the silence to
Shut it up.
cancel
I guess that works. And totally fends off all of that mid lane pressure coming in from the Enchantress as she AFK farms elsewhere. And now is trying to be there as a helping hand to MSS for now so we can get those Sand King legs under him. How's our mid lane going? You were talking about Abed a bit with that build-up. He's at 9-1 to the 7-0 of Envy. As expected, Abed just needs to fight his way through those pestering acid sprays early on.
Yeah, he doesn't want to use Illusory Orb for farming because he doesn't have an eye on an Enchantress.
Stun in early. MSS happy to kind of get things started with a bit of harassment. All right. But lane also to be cut and pulled back by Aui, so he's able to easily manipulate this one. It's hard. You know, can't really keep tabs on Aui. You don't want to put your attention on him and prevent him from having a coasting early game, but he seems to just always be doing as he pleases. While Bulba is going to be helping out the mid lane, it would appear, trying to fend off Envy a bit.
Yeah, that double Null Talisman build against Alchemist for some extra damage and extra mana pool. Now he'll try to spam Illusory Orb because he sees that AY is on bottom.
Yep, and they are pressing in a bit. It's going to force out some early living armor and regen onto Mason. MSS confidently just moving on in with the Burrow Strike and trying to get off some serious damage coming out from that Caustic. With Aui stepping in and helping out with some slow and javelin damage, you know. This is turning into a bit of a headache right now for DC. As Bulba has stepped out from that bottom lane and he's gone cross-country all the way up to the top lane for now. Still level 1, so he's just kind of walking around for now.
Yeah, again, Sanking with that Orb of Venom build. He wants to have maximum slow from Caustic Finale and the Orb of Venom.
Now Mason can't comfortably just move in there and go for last hits. MSS is able to take over and pop down range grips easily like that and poke at Mason whenever possible. So it seems like order's been restored there. MV is like, okay, I'm going to start taking some of these camps now on the side. It looks like they've been able to build up a little bit of a stack for him, so he has a nice side bank account to work with here, it would appear. And Aui is now going to step in a bit. No creeps to his name, it looks like, for now, though. So just kind of making his presence known here while Envy works through the jungle.
Yeah, well, Aui went on mid to get the XP because he moved to jungle. That's what happens pretty much every time you're seeing an Alchemist. But MSS with that Invis rune.
Roaming Sand King from the off lane early. Yeah, you'd never suspect that. He steps in, gets the Borrowed Strike, the silence will come out, but that's it. And it's going to be a good first blood coming out from NP, and Envy getting the last hit.
Yeah, that's it. Abed was playing really careful with that Illusory Orb. Didn't want to commit to it, especially the early game against Enchantress. Now he used it aggressively. AY actually forced him to use it, like tried to bait it. And with that, you can call it lucky. Invis rune, they got the first blood.
Nice little setup, and it will get them the boost. How about this top lane? We haven't acknowledged it yet, and it's like really one of the first, if not the first, Venomancers we've been able to witness here, and we might be able to witness him die, because they've surged in, they got the telekinesis pullback, and suddenly he's gone. So that's the story of Venomancer, I guess.
Yeah, not really a great story. Not a good night story, though.
I was getting ready to say, I'm like, he seems to be having a thing going here where he's planning on wards and he's getting good farm, but it's like, what is he doing? Just slowly infecting this top lane in hopes of taking down that tier 1. I'm just curious what the Veno objective is.
I like how you use the word infecting. Like that's the AIDS carrier. Look at him.
It really is a disgusting mess right now. And, you know, you can't say the same about Iron Shell. That thing is a bit infecting, too. These trees up here now, Dubu and Bulba, are both going to be hanging about. So the DC opportunity for maybe a catch onto someone like Pi is there. Oh, Pi. And now just like that, just what feels like only feet away from your friends. And suddenly you're surrounded by 3.
Yeah, but Lycan on the bottom lane is level 5 with level 3 Feral Impulse. He has enough region to just be on the lane, especially if it's needed. There can be casted the Living Armor. It should be fine. Enchantress is bottom again.
Also to note, Mason has been doing a good job hitting that W button when stuff's going down. Helps out in that gank power. And now he's getting pushed back a bit from MSS. He's going to use these wolves and successfully scout out Owie, stalking him a bit from the tree line here. So Mason is totally taken out of his CS game. For the time being, it would appear. But top CS breadwinner does belong to Abed, even though he was taken down as the first blood. He still sports 44 and 10 CS on his side. And he's going straight for the Veil.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
Veil against Acid Spray, just to have some extra armor. Also good late game against him. Enchantress for that extra
Radiant
burst
structures
damage,
are
and
fortified.
good with the Vacuum Wall combo.
Look at this.
Radiant's
It's
bottom
MP
tower
able
is
to
under
kind of
attack.
get that first real objective rolling here as the full Ench army is approaching. Even little Mr. Skeletal's getting in on the action. Yeah! Cuts down that
Radiant's
tree, and
bottom tower
it's going to
has
be the
fallen.
first tower claimed. And a good head start for them. They could take their business all the way up to the top lane to go for their next follow-up, but it is DC who are currently smoked and moving. Forev even in on the action too. Dishes out some early ion shells, and they will spot out Envy. Now the big bad wolf goes into form, and Pi steps in, says, look at me instead. Pulls him up towards the high ground where MSS is waiting, pockets the borrow, tries to move in, but can't quite get enough damage. Eventually he'll get a hold of Pi and chop him to bits, and look at the damage, man. The ion shell and the wolf. Double kill for Forev, but it's Mason getting in there and getting it done.
Yeah, it's really hard to fight into Lycan with the Iron Shell. They don't have anything to burst him down.
It looked like that was almost a good turnaround play for MP. Pi kind of drawing him over to where MSS was about to bring down the pain, but that Lycan Wolf can just move so fast. He'll duck out the second he feels a bit of trouble coming and then go back in for a quick finish. It's really hard to work around.
Gold for me.
Well, I'm looking back here at the top lane. I think Midas was just complete, it looks like. Yes, Vata is going Midas on the Venomancer. It's exciting.
Yeah, also one Midas on Enchantress as well. So he skips Power Treads build this game, so he wants to have that extra gold as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, we've seen that story before. Always gonna work with the time he feels he's granted to be able to farm in the nearby lanes or the jungle to get himself that Midas early, and next thing you know, he suddenly has the Hurricane Pike and he's dealing out serious damage. So
I deserve.
always something to be able to keep tabs on. DC side, looks like we have Abed with Coil good to go. They're picking out the bottom lane. He's heading that way. I'm thinking maybe they could try to get some setup action going, but
Dire's
it looks like
top tower
MSS
is
is already
under
going to
attack.
step out. I'm curious about how proactive DC are going to be looking to get here. I mean, they
Rubik
could,
is still struggling to get level 6. He's level 4. Is there a tome for him?
10 minutes in, I click on their shop. I see a tome there. I assume yes, but not sure whether or not they're on it right now or have the money or the key or the need to. There's that Midas now complete for Owie as Bulba finishes out his arcane boots. I think they're going to make the call and attempt to jump onto Fata here in a moment. Saw the ping there. Bulba's nearby. He's now making the call. But it's going to be tough. As you can see, Fata could just simply plant out a couple of safety wards here and see if any troubles come in their direction.
Yeah, Rubik just got scanned out, so Venomancer just goes back into the forest where he feels safe.
Yeah, even Abed's trying to rotate up in here. He has that Invis rune and was hoping
Radiant's
to
middle tower
turn
is
it
under
into some
attack.
sort of gank, but
Radiant
there's just
structures
no
are
opportunities
fortified.
there. Aui's going to be able to continue to push forward in this mid lane a bit, and he's getting close to level 8, so he's matching right up there
Dire's top tower
with
is
some of the
under
best in the
attack.
game. And MSS also diligent through his bottom lane push. He's playing this one greedy to kind of push on forward and getting hold of that nicely timed Blink Dagger. It's not
Radiant's
as fast as
bottom
we've seen him
tower
be able
is
to
under
get
attack.
before, but he's still meeting good time.
Yeah, he got the
Dire's top
three
tower is under
three
attack.
creep waves free to get his farm up, and when he has an eye on Puck, he knows he can't die. Now Puck is on the run with a haste rune. Can they find an opening?
Yeah, they tried
Yes,
to make
they
a move
can.
on for Dubu, but they didn't have the extra detection, so it looks like they're stepping out the second they get the idea that maybe Abed is looking over for a new fight. Another rune that he's trying to get some action with, and it looks like he's not going to get it. Oh, bottom lane though. They're going to force out the shapeshift here from Mason. He gets hit with an early living armor, but he has got to zip himself out. And he
Dire's
is
top
running
tower is
across
under attack.
across the sea here, it would look like, and all the way up into the mid lane and finishing out that tower. That's efficiency.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle
Oh,
tower
but it quickly
is under
forces out a
attack.
couple of rotations here, and the glyph. MP not looking to hand any towers over that easy, and that will conclude the rest of the shapeshift here. So, good pressure by MP. That's a longer cooldown right now, so. Oh, did Aoi see
Radiant's
that?
top tower
I'm
is
not
under
sure.
attack.
Yeah,
They're pinging right there. He just went invis.
yeah, but no detection.
Yeah, looks like it.
Team Slytherin on top, just pushing the towers.
Oh, you're right. Yep, looks like our shaman
Radiant's
friend
top
has
tower
reached
is
level
under
6,
attack.
and it's time for him to drop the wards at the
Dire's
top
middle
lane
tower
and
is under attack.
take down the tower. They will be able to get it as DC takes their tower
Radiant's top
first.
tower has
Oh,
fallen.
no, looks like about the same time. They both get their tier 1s done. And we might just see them play around those cooldowns moving further. Anytime they have the Serpent wards up, I don't see any reason they shouldn't try to move on in for a tier 1. One more tier 1 does remain in that mid lane. So all according to agenda here for MP.
Illusion.
Yeah, Radiance is up on Elk, 14-minute Radiance with Armlet and Phase Boots. That's a good timing.
Wasn't really ganked or harassed too much in the early game, like Pi is now. Ooh. Abed just casts everything he has in his spellbook to bring down the easy shaman. But without Envy reaching too much trouble in the early game, he kind of gets through his early Alk items with no trouble at all. Not too much of a surprise. Radiance now in hand. They are maybe thinking about making their move all the way towards the top lane, and that is going to be the case. At that moment, however, a pause will be called out from Digital Chaos, so nice Radiance timing. On the way towards the top lane. We'll have to see what DC could offer for a potential counter fight. Looks like Forev has his mech ready to go now, so, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, but MSS has enough gold to buy a Blink Dagger and a TP, so he can surprise them with it.
Ooh, you are right.
Also Puck Blink Dagger.
Yep.
Dire's
So
top
this
tower
could
is
be
under
quite the
attack.
debut for both teams now. DC already find themselves kind of in the lane, but look who's approaching from behind. Envy's there first. He gets pinged out. Abed's forced to step back, and now the Burrow steps in, and it's looking to go on to Mason with the power of the epicenter, but he gets hit with the living armor and tries to rush himself out, but gets welcomed with a hit of the stun. Can now we finish him with the impetus? No!
Radiant's
Dubu
bottom
dishes
tower
down the
is
route,
under
and the
attack.
chase will conclude. Mason's able to run himself away from trouble, and DC all together avoid everything.
Pylai has ulti ready. They might continue to push, but or go to Roche.
Radiant's
Okay,
top
Roche
tower
is being
is under
pinged out
attack.
actually.
They head in for it, and they know there's not going to be a werewolf to have to really worry about in this one. And DC might not be in any good shape to fight, and it looks like they've spotted out Dubu hiding within the nearby trees. They still never have detection, though. That's the other thing, though. So he'll just walk away.
It's hard. Okay, wall used.
She says, I'll put that wall there for you. And now it gets a bit awkward. Envy can't really walk through this. He'll have to keep dealing with, you know, a Radiance armlet Alk.
He can
Very annoying.
Yeah, he can switch off Radiance and...
Heal us.
And then walk through it.
yeah.
But still kind of awkward at the time. So he has to step all the way out. He's going to get some heal assistance, it looks like, from Owie right now. But Abed's just still keeping tabs on him, throwing out those orbs. They're just waiting for the wall to go down. They'll fight in front of it, it looks like here. More orbs to fly. Mason's still waiting for time to tick. He needs about 15 seconds until he can really get into his form. Vata, though, has his ulti. Just starts dropping down wards. Abed goes in for it. Not going to get it. Valiant effort, but will be punished.
Yeah, MP's lineup looking really strong in the next like 10 minutes.
Radiant's middle
What
tower
is
is under
Venom have?
attack.
Yeah, he finished the Veil of Discord, and okay, Rasta is kind of struggling to get anything because he's position 5 and Enchantress is getting all the items, just buying some sentry wards for that Treant. So once they get some more items up, they should be like looking really strong.
Pretty much still moving in whenever possible. Maybe just using those serpent wards once they're up, which as they come up right now. Dubu's there watching, stalking slowly. Bulb is picking into that area saying, let's head up that direction. We can get a pick and we can get a tier 1. And
Dire's middle tower
get some
is under
movement
attack.
going our way. And that's when Abed makes his jump. It's going to be an early rift, but that's when the counter comes out, and oh boy, Abed gets knocked down for it. Good follow-up, stolen burst strike, going to be there for Bulba, but he throws himself into the wolves. The real wolf, though, coming out is going to be Mason, charging on in, looking to get the grab onto Fata. Can he get the finish? Yeah, double kill for him. Enchantress not as easy of a target, so he settles for Pi instead. Has that Iron Shell to help burn it forward, but he's eating damage under those sentries. Rather, under the serpent wards. As Envy is able to rotate in, he drops down the acid spray and helps Owie finish the job. A long-winded, crazy engagement, but MP's counterfight seems to be the better.
Yeah, well, they can take down Venomancer and Rasta with Wolf with Iron Shell. They don't have nothing to stop him, but he can't attack Enchantress. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
Also trying to go in pretty deep, getting a hold of Pi, ate a lot of extra damage from those wards too. It's a hard commitment. Yeah, maybe different if Mason was there a touch sooner, but the call had been made, and they were probably not suspecting that quick turnaround play there from MSS. But MP read that situation very nicely and get to hold on to that tier 1 even longer.
Yeah, Greaves are finished on Darkseer, so that will help them with regenerating once Venomancer ulti is used.
Again, though, I mean, do you think it would be essential for him to follow it up with the pipe pickup too, or is it something they can hold off on?
Yeah. It's gonna be a full pipe into Blink Dagger after.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I see it in queue now. Definitely feels like a mandatory pickup in this game, considering the Veno, considering the Sand King, and everything else. It's an overbearing amount of magic damage it would feel, with the exception of really Envy being there. Abed is slowly creeping his way through this bottom lane, but it's Fata taking over it right now. But it looks like Duba will manage to spot out a couple of sentry wards that MP have prepared, and they'll know that they can't really go too much further ahead without getting under the watchful eye of MP.
Yeah. Now, Venomancer should get one defensive item, so he can run away from Lycan. He can go for a Shadow Blade or Yule Scepter, or at least something, Ghost Scepter, just so that he can't kill him.
The thought of Arata Atos also kind of popped in my mind briefly. And more strength and a way to root down the Lycan, but yeah, it doesn't help him defensively, unfortunately. It just kind of stops maybe the Wolf in his tracks.
Yeah, and Lycan will have a BKB finished pretty soon, so it's pretty useless.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Dire's structures
Oh, and
are
ooh.
He goes into shapeshift. Denied, though.
Dire's top tower has
Envy.
been
Nice
denied.
takeaway right there. The rest of his team still, going in. MSS has the dust, spots out Dubu, and Dubu wants to try to run. He's going to be forced to commit the route, and I don't know if the follow-up's going to be there. MSS tries to blink in and can't quite catch him, and Dubu's going to be able to make it away.
Should be enough.
Oh, the Caustic, you think? Oh, it
Radiant's
looks like it.
bottom
Orban
tower
Caustic
is under attack.
with
Oh,
the
he's
Venom tick. Oh, the Poison Sting.
His Tranquil Boots just came ready and
Wow.
he regioned up.
How convenient for Dubu here. He gives himself the living armor and hopes to hold as much as he can, but he walks back in and just quickly gets handled. They had a new sentry waiting.
Radiant's bottom tower is
All
under
that.
attack.
All that just to get quickly shot down right there. And MP are going to continue their long-winded siege and earn the tier 2. Fata had been down
Radiant's
here that
bottom
whole
tower
time and
has fallen.
got the job done. And now they can look at new horizons.
Once BKB is finished on Lycan, he
Radiant's
can
middle tower
also
is under attack.
focus Enchantress in the team fight.
Fata back to the top lane now. I guess he wants to hang here till he gets that tier 2. But the second he shows himself, that's when DC start coming out of the
Radiant's middle
woodwork.
tower is under attack.
And Bulba sets it up with a telekinesis lift, and Mason helps get the job done. He committed a
Radiant's
shapeshift for
middle
this one.
tower has fallen.
You never know if there's going to be a follow-up fight there or not, but DC will just take the Fata kill and reclaim the top lane, allowing it to be kind of pressured in again from MP.
Yeah, everyone wants to go Midas this game on side of DC. It's kind of a same thing when you're playing against Elk and when you're playing against Naga. You want to have the late game secured. So there is one on Rubik, one on Puck, one on Lycan, and Treant Protector is also getting close to his.
It's going to be one of those kind of a games. Very greedy one here. As MP could take this one into the later innings with all the late game Agnum Scepters that's available to him. It's definitely an economy game they can look to play. Dubu moving in. Him and Abed will try to get the jump onto Owie. Leads in with the coil. Is the burst going to be there? Dubu can't even get that first bash in. Finally it connects, and they will be able to finish her off. Bulba there with the Fade Bolt. Now Envy looking to come in for redemption. Stuns down Forev and tries to chomp him a bit, but Forev simply dishes out the Surge and the Plated Greaves, and that's when Dubu makes his move in. Dishing out the root, but the follow-up's there from MSS. Hitting it home with the epicenter hit. Now Fata dishes out the Toxin Poison of the Poison Spray, and Envy is on the run. Mason looking to rush him down. Nice BKB pop is going to force Envy to stun himself, and he will be finished. It's a double kill for Fata as he takes out all of the weaker supports with that Poison ulti, but Mason is hitting the big targets as he takes down Envy.
Yeah, with that BKB, he can also focus Alchemist, no miss from Radiance. Also great play by the wall. He managed to get Alchemist in, so there's Radiance burn for them.
And they're following it up with a +1 tower too. That BKB could not have come at a better time here for
Dire's bottom
Digital
tower
Chaos
has
in that
fallen.
fight. Taking Envy down just gets them so much too. He was already top of the net worth. And now you're looking at Mason with close to 3K gold. He has to use that Midas too, so my goodness. What's the next pickup he should find himself going into with the BKB already done?
He might go for either Basher or just the Deso for that extra burst damage.
Trying to see Envy, obviously no BKB in current sight. Means Abyssal might not have to be super necessary right now, but here Dubu finds Pi, bashes him down. Pi is going to be forced to dish out the Serpent ulti. MSS steps in to hope to get more out of it. Connects with the Burrow Strike onto Abed. Abed steps out. He's got very little mana, but he's enough to orb out. Now he wants to consider chasing, but DC... Oh, nice catch right there from MSS. Gets the Burrow. The impetus is beginning to fly, and we'll see if Abed is going to die. The answer is yes. He goes down. Nice pick, good catch up and chase there from MSS.
Oh, Envy on bottom. Okay, what did he steal? Acid spray.
And a shapeshift out for Mason. He's chopping away at this tower. And then on the back end of it, will speed himself out from any possible MP approach. Fata's back at the bottom lane. He's got that Poison Nova good to go. He's building up into what looks like a Shiva's here, so more armor resilience and obviously holding out. Doesn't need to get the Ags if someone may end up buying it for him.
Regeneration.
Someone, huh? Well, yeah, he needs some extra mana pool, some extra armor against that Lycan, and it's good for clearing the Darkseer wall illusions.
Yeah, overall pushing the lanes will help too. Looks like DC are going to go from coast to coast here. After pressuring through that bottom lane and trying to get a hold of a tier 2, they just want to head to the other side of things here and wait for their build-up. AC next for Mason, it would look like. And after the pipe has been complete here from Forev, they have all that defensive utility they could hope for. And he was even able to kind of build on and grab a Blink Dagger too. So this is looking like an easy DC kind of a fight. And the wild card here for MP, I'm not sure if Owie is in like late game fighting shape yet. He's going to be going for what looks like at least a hood himself for now. But
yeah, he needs to go for hood because Puck went all in magic burst damage with that Dagon 3 and level 20 10 spell amplification. What he's gonna get, he can just burst down Enchantress easily, so hood is needed.
Here comes DC looking to take that fight all the way up towards the top lane here. Who do we got? Nobody at the moment. Dubu's hoping to scout things out, but knows he can't go too deep without his team at risk of being spotted out from a stray sentry ward here. But looks like MP are already on the way, and DC are just going to kind of reclaim this area for themselves. Plant a ward down, but MP doing what they do here, kind of avoiding any fights they don't want to be having to take. But now MV and Fata have been spotted up behind that tower. They get hit. Two-man coil, vacuum wall combo. And suddenly it's Envy to his own. The rest of MP are going to be en route to help out, but it might be too late for him. Envy's also been taken down, and they're going to grab a hold of little Bambi too. Owie's going to get dropped. Double kill for Mason. Ooh. I was just getting ready to go into the fact that MP are doing a nice job avoiding getting themselves caught out on a fight they don't want to take, but once spotted in the top lane, DC can't help themselves but jump in and take advantage. And now the rewards are going to be coming their way. A high ground push already in order. Pi has to force out the wards as a defense, and they've already spotted out MSS. And he's also going to go and also doesn't have a buyback.
Oh, what a waken from Forever.
Beautiful setup from the Darkseer. And now it's a tier 3 down, and it looks like the first set of the racks in this one.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
30 minutes in is all it takes, and DC walk away, heads held high. What's gonna be a great feeling?
And the Roche is up. They have enough time to take it down before the sinking is out.
Get the shrine on the way first. Extra gold. But you were right, Roche is up and good to go. And couldn't ask for anything better right now if you were DC, and this is really opening things up. This game had belonged to MP for the most part. Look at one point, almost close to like an 8K net worth advantage. A lot of that, of course, being your Alchemist factor. But now working further past that, DC take total control. And I don't know if the Mighty Alk is going to be good enough for this. He is still looking to finish out his own Shivas. So is Fata going Shivas also? No, Fata changed. Not going to go Shivas. It looked like he got a Solar Crest.
Now he needed something that Lycan doesn't kill him in 3 hits. DC right now have everything they need to push once again. There is a BKB 8-second BKB on Lycan, AC plus Vlad's, and Pipe, Greaves, Darkseer, so they're good to go.
And full steam ahead here for DC as they begin their trek down this mid lane. A tier 2 stands before them, and we look to see if MP feel more comfortable trying to take a fight outside the base, and it would appear so. They smoke, pings fly out. Don't know if it was spotted, but they begin to make their move regardless. Dubu hits a huge root connection, and they quickly wipe the floor of Pi. A vacuum, a burrow, and it's NP hitting the deck as DC just blast right on through the whole squad. Last game was 80 minutes. This one might not even go to 40.
Yeah, this looks pretty over for NP. I mean, MP doesn't like to call GG too early, but let's be real here.
Yeah, right? This Lycan looks like on a completely different level at the moment. He is not even fussing around. DC do not want to go to an 80-minute game, and they're saying, you quit now. We're going for the tier 4s, and sure enough, MP say fine. They tap out, and we're going to be going to game number 4. DC now just 1 win away from qualifying for the Summit 7.
That is correct. DC, I actually thought MP was gonna commit to something like more of a pressure lineup with a DP. That Alk had a complete free farm, but he didn't do much in those fights. Their lineup is like 5-man oriented when you just put those wards down at the tower and then just go away. But this Lycan really became a problem. Also good rotations from Lycan at like 9 minutes with that Iron Shell, got 2 or 3 kills. Yeah, and when BKB was finished on Lycan, they had nothing to stop it with.
Yeah, Mason got to a point when pretty much he was able to free farm on anyone on the MP side. Envy had great farm, but yeah, it's a 5-man effort, and everyone else seemed to be able to just fall flat when compared to the overall power of DC in this game. So they'll take that win, and now they lead this best-of-5 series 2-1. So we're not done yet, folks. We cut to a break. When we come back, myself, Dakota, and Lacoste will be here for game